And we're live. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Gods versus Eldritch Horrors. Yes, we've been away for quite some time. It was a confluence of factors. Probably some small influence from the far realm, but after all the interferences in our schedules and all the technical issues and everything, we are finally back. We're finally back. And for those of you who haven't been following us or have no idea what this campaign is about, well, let me put this way. The Far Realm is something that exists beyond the boundaries of the known D&D multiverse, and it has this endless hunger, and the Far Realm doesn't want to conquer; it wants to rewrite, it wants to consume. And now we have here a party of misfit demigods. You heard that right. They are all playing D&D 2024 demigods. And they find themselves not just lost beyond creation, but also all of them are, their curiosity and their motivations and their interest in learning a little bit about the Far Realm led them to become fully and gloriously corrupted into their own eldritch selves, into their own particular version of their eldritch selves. And yes, it seems that we are in a little bit of a conundrum right now in this campaign, where our party managed to fabricate their own time paradox. And yes, previously in this campaign, should I say, previously on how I met myself and made everything worse, the party wished to be home, and they made that wish while they were in the Far Realm. And instead of going back to their multiverse of origin, they became the nightmares. They became the many-eyed tour guides. They became an eldritch versions of themselves that calls the Far Realm their home. And they decided that the best way to stop themselves from becoming the horrors that they are right now was to do a little time loop. They managed to just stumble across a telescopic transporter that was pointing into the past, into their past, before they became these creatures. And now they're trying to fix that. Talk about a time loop, self-sabotage arc that no one could have predicted. Yes, this was not at all what I had planned, but I guess that's the beauty of of Dungeons and Dragons. You can always count on your party to throw all your plans out of the window and create something even more interesting for their story. And with that, now that you know a little bit about the Far Realm, in the edges of space-time, where our five, not quite gods now, have become something other. Their minds are still not gone, just, let's say, elsewhere. Yes, we have 5 of them here, and you can see how they were on the right there in this page and how they are on the left right now, as their transformed versions of themselves. Let's introduce our party tonight. First, we have Monarchals, however you pronounce that, the Iron Grudge, the Hollow Helm, the Heavy Breath, that knows your worst secrets and mutters them under his breath in his Far Realm Morse code. Monarchals, tell us a little bit about how you're feeling today having to, tolerate this harsh environment of the material plane of Greyhawk. How are you feeling tonight? Say hello to our audience.
He's definitely getting a bit tired of the shenanigans that are currently transpiring, and he thinks he'd like things to go back to normal, or at least as normal as things get around this group, which is not very a lot of the time. Yeah, but that's tomatoes, right? So, he's got a solution. It's a bad solution, but he thinks he has a solution.
Very well. Well, looking forward to see that in play. And then we have Altex, however you pronounce that. That is not a word that was created in this multiverse, so mind my pronunciation. And the Lute-Eyed Witness. He plays the note that unstitches thought. He has seen your browser history, and he forgives nothing. Artex, say hello to our audience and tell us a little bit about how you're feeling tonight.
All I know is I need to stop these people from doing whatever they're about to do. I don't have much more memory than that at this point.
Very well, very well. And then we have Ixtulugrigra, the Plumage of Screams, Feathers of Madness, House of Insight, Still Dreams of Cheese Wheels, and perhaps Mice and Decaying Vines? I don't know. You tell us. How are you feeling tonight? Say hello to our audience.
Is not doing great. He is very, very confused and annoyed, and there's everything around here just seems very wrong. There's just not enough tentacles on anything. Nothing has enough tentacles. It's very strange, and he doesn't understand.
I have to say that seems to be a popular opinion among all of you, actually. This place just feels not functional. Where are they all? How can these creatures just see with 2 eyes? I mean, clearly they don't see well. Clearly that's not the best and most functional biology. And how they grapple things with just those, just at the tip of their arms, it's just so unpractical. Why can't you just grab with your suction cups that comes from your shoulders and your elbows and, well, any of your other tentacles? It's really, I have to say, guys, this place just feels weird, just feels alien to all of you. It's as if things here don't really have a functional purpose to its design, and they're missing things. They're so simplified. It's like a rudimentary version of the Far Realm or a badly thought design. It's like they sketched that whoever created the Far Realm threw away before creating much better things and much better architecture, much better design than the creatures in here, I have to say. This place is really messing with your heads. And yes, we might still have Inzenitil, the Dissonant Gleam, the distorted version of Zane, Broken Winged Brilliance, and he also speaks in rhymes that you wish to forget, and he has invented jazz by accident in the Far Realm. And yes, we also have Lumpur, the Blade in Polar Bloom. She won't be able to join us tonight, but her character will dance with fury and grace, and may stab you or your party members with cosmic intent. And then after that, just give you a nice hug and add you some entropy to your being. And not even she knows which one she's going to do first. So yes, it's quite a mix we have here of these demigods that try to, test the waters in the Far Realm and ended up becoming the things that they used to hunt. And yes, the party turned themselves into Eldritch Horrors. There's no other way. It's not metaphorical. They literally did that. They wish, well, one member of this party turned himself into what we could call an Ifritixtihil. Not pointing any fingers. And apparently he could grant wishes. And while they were roaming in the far realm, in their true forms, hunched, glimmered, feathered, shrinking manifestations of themselves, they decided, one of them, Mini Markle, decided to, just throw a wish out there. And Ifritixtihil decided to grant that wish. And the wish was that they wanted to go back home. They wish they were home right now. That was I'm paraphrasing, but that was approximately the wording. And instead of returning home, that place became their home. And they turned themselves into Eldritch Horror versions of their characters. Yes, lost and unmoored, they stumbled upon a tavern on a rock, drifting through unreality. Inside, guess who they found? The member that they tried to ditch before, Inzenitil, which at that point was still Zane, who had arrived before them and actually made friends with the bartender of the tavern. And the bartender quietly mutate into his own shadow nightmare monster. And yes, the other members of the party had some drinks, and all of them ultimately were having fun in their Eldritch Horror forms. The bartender also morphed into a horror together with Zane and after the wish. And before another wish could be uttered, Arltex unleashed a reality-bending aura. He convinced everyone, including the bartender, that grammar was tyranny and structure syntax of speech is just fascism. And he created a revolution where no one actually speaks coherently anymore. Welcome to the incoherence revolution. And yes, no member of this party is able to pronounce things and express themselves by using words where they're supposed to be in their sentence. And yes, they were guided by the bartender to this observatory where they've met a creature, an ocular oracle with a telescope named Thingamajig. And that creature showed them the when and the heres, or the when, wheres. And through its telescope, they watched themselves from before becoming. You know how they say that when you look into the stars, you see the past? Well, that's kind of what they've done here. They saw themselves from before, arriving at the Goblin encampment, in the front line of the Greyhawk War, against the deep demons, as they were calling. And just like that, they were watching their own past. And Thingamajig had confirmed to them during their conversation that this actually always happens. It's not the first time they come to this tavern. They always try to come to this tavern. They look into this telescope, then they transport themselves into the past. And apparently they always fail. They always fail. But not this time. This time they vowed that it would be different. Or they thought it would be different. Or they gargled. Anyway, they used the telescopic transporter to jump back to that moment in the past just before everything all went wrong. And now, in the material plane, they've attempted to fight in the last session their hostile, their hostile original versions of themselves, as they try in their aberrant forms to talk to their to their counterparts, and apparently they can't just understand the language of the far realm. Pff, ignorant creatures. How could you guys have been so primal? And their very presences there cause creatures to revolt. It cause a little combat to unfold, and even time was running particularly slowly. Yes, and even their memories were start to fade. Our divine heroes, as the longer they stayed in this place and in this fight, it felt like they were kind of losing the sense of what exactly they were doing there. Their language was disintegrating. Their mission, apparently only Minarchos could vaguely remember why they were there. Something about returning to a place near the goblin camp. I think he remembers. The creatures they were fighting ran away, and they should come back a few days from now. So I guess Minarchos has the capability of remembering the future. And apparently something important that they had to do in here, but they are struggling to remember. This place doesn't do good to your constitution. And meanwhile, Inzenitil had flown off into a swamp nearby this goblin encampment. And once again, he was in a duel against his past self, mano a mano. And the rest of the party, they start to lurk, skulk, and trying to figure out what are they gonna do. How are they gonna stop their past selves? Oh, well, actually, it's more like for the players to figure out how they're gonna stop their former selves from entering the portal and restart this entire cycle. Of course, if their characters remember what was happening, that is, of course, to be seen. But yes, folks, basically what happened here is that our party managed to fight their counterpart selves of Eldritch Horrors. Then they've managed to go to in this goblin encampment. Then they've managed to travel to the far realm and come back to that same fight, to that same place, to that same moment, but being the creatures on the other side of the fight, now being the Eldritch Horrors. And they discover that it's a loop of horror. It's a loop of self-hate, perhaps, or a loop of inevitability. They are their own enemies, and they always have been. And yes, that is quite a ontological arc of this story. And on that note, let me bring you guys back to the goblin camp, where I last left you. And what had happened there is that right before we concluded the last session, the party that you were fighting against apparently teleport themselves into some sort of pocket dimension and left all of you in that goblin encampment with a wizard that is blinded and can't stop talking somehow. A bunch of goblins, majority of them are now dead, thanks to the, collateral, they're the kind of collateral victims of this fight. And now the four of you are here. You can hear, by the way, the blasts of the fight of Zane to the right here, to the east of you, of your position, where he flew into the swamp, and you can see some sort of commotion coming from there. But that is about it. And Minarchos, you are the one who remembers that somehow somehow you remember the future and you think that these creatures that ran away will be back in about a week's time from now. So I'm gonna give you guys some time to, figure out what you want to do. While, of course, Lumpel is just making sure her hair is very badly brushed. And on that note, let me shut up for a few moments and let you guys discuss what are you gonna do next.
Real quick, Legend, how much time is left on my Ifriti transformation?
You currently are not transforming to an Ifriti.
I was during the battle.
Oh, you are the
So
layer.
has it
You are
been-
in the layer. Yes, you are. How much time? Roll a d4 for me.
Alrighty.
Two minutes.
Cool.
Sadly, you don't have any wishes left.
Sadly.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we could use them effectively, even if I did. But with the whole not being able to form proper sentences thing.
Yes, very true.
Well,
Forgot about that.
except me, but.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Can we understand you? Because wait, yeah,
I didn't
okay,
affect
so
your
we can-
understanding. I just affected
Right,
how
okay.
you chose to speak.
Gotcha. All right, now I remember.
Yeah.
All right.
And somehow the language you're speaking, these creatures here don't seem to understand, but to you, it's like you're speaking common.
Gotcha. So I guess first we need to figure out what it is we want to try to do, and then how to communicate that to each other, which seems like the more challenging task. at the
Pictographs, we can draw.
Yeah.
Draw
Well,
our
you
battle
can-
plans
you
in the
can-
dirt.
You're all speaking the same language. For all you can tell, you can understand each other. The only problem is that even in that language, you are not enslaved to grammar, and you are not going to be you are not going to be following the rules of syntax anymore. The words shouldn't be where they're supposed to be.
And these goblins and what are those, humans? Yeah, that are like further away from us that don't have the X's on them. They're still alive.
They're
And
still alive, yes. And I must remind you, while you guys are here, for whatever reason, time seems to be passing very, very slowly for everyone else. You can see the rain falling from the sky slowly, and you can see that the wizard is still babbling about something, and his mouth is like... And even the goblins
Is that the
don't
guy we
have...
killed before?
Yeah, that is the guy.
Oh, was he not pulled with him this time?
No, he was not. He was not. You guys decided to...
See?
Your enemies decided to just leave, and he stayed behind.
okay, so Ixilandra, I'm just gonna let everybody know right now, is immediately gonna take that guy out. Just right off the bat. Once we start doing things.
Why? Do you even
Yeah,
remember what
why?
that creature is?
Because he's all wrong. He doesn't have enough tentacles.
He doesn't, but
he's
it's...
currently working with a sanity of 4.
And
So,
he's...
no.
But this creature clearly wants to become something more, because you can see it doesn't have enough eyes, and it's drawing eyes in its own skin so it can have excess eyes. It recognized its own limitations. Oh, the poor thing.
I'll see what I can do. But it's not gonna be pretty. Just letting you know right up front. It's definitely happening.
And so, guys, what do you want to do now? Minarchos, have you communicated that you think those creatures you're trying to do something to them are going to be back in about a week, perhaps? What are you going to keep doing in this place for that amount of time?
Well, he knows where they're going. He already knows where they're going to show back up in a week. So, I'm trying. It's how much do I remember? It's like I know where they're going, but do I know why they're going there?
No, you know that they're coming back. That what you know is very vague. It's like your memories are fading. They're fleeting away. You remember that they will come back here within a few days, and there's something around here that is of interest of them. And you remember there's something around here that's of interesting that is interesting to all of you as well, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is, and you don't know the exact place of whatever it is. The only thing right now, you guys, as you look around, the only thing right now that seems to be drawing your attention is that you can see the smoke and the bright flashes of light coming from inside the swamp, where apparently a fight is happening between Zane and Insanity.
Okay, so I remember they're coming back, but not they want to go to the gate. Okay, well that cuts off one of the two opportunities I was going to do. And I attempt to recall that they're going to the gate. Because if that's the case, if I remember that they're going there, I'd go destroy it. But if I don't remember it, then I can't destroy the thing they're here for.
To the west of you, you hear a familiar voice at first that says,
"Ah, there you are. Again and again and again. Do you feel it yet?"
Out of a rift in space, someone that seems and sounds familiar to you appears from a rift in space. 6 pairs of eyes. He looks half horror, half material weird creature. At least he has more eyes. I mean, he's still incredibly ugly. In the sense that he's missing at least another 10 dozen pair of eyes on him, but he has some tentacles there for a hair, and it seems to be talking to all of you telepathically. So maybe there's more to this creature that meets all your many eyes, and the creature talks to you as if it knew you, and all of you feel a sense of familiarity with it, but you can't quite remember why. And it continues.
That slithering thought behind your thoughts, whispering that this is not the first time you've worn these skins of horror. that you are not hunting your past selves, but becoming the reasons you were hunted in the first place. You think you can stop yourselves from crossing the portal? But let me unravel the delusion gently for all of you. That crossing was never a choice. It was a compulsion, a gravitational scream, echoing backward through time from your own mouths. You were the cause of your own damnation. You are the wish made in reverse. Each attempt to halt the cycle only feeds the wheel. The moment you take up arms against your former selves, they begin to suspect, to fear, to flee. And in fleeing, they run where? To the portal, of course. Like a scream echoing into its own birth. Understand this. The far realm does not trap you. It remembers you. You are its poem, etched in paradox and psalm. The more you resist, the more you sink into its embrace. Your memories peeled and repainted, until the only language you speak is silence. You seek salvation, then perish utterly before you even begin. Met the gods that you were before, to never become the gods that you never were. Or else, repeat this nightmare again and again, until even your madness forgets your name. Ah, but you won't, will you? Even now your minds twist for a loophole, a clever close, a way to outmaneuver inevitability. How quaint, how mortal, how beautifully doomed. Go on then, save yourselves. Just now, each time you try, you bring yourselves closer to repetition.
And as those words echo in your mind, the rift starts to close, and you hear a laughter. A laughter that rings a bell in all your minds. As it goes away, that laughter allows you all to roll an intelligence check to see if you can access your memories.
Just a straight check?
Straight
or
intelligence
a saving
check.
throw?
Check. Well done, Arlith. Very good. You get inspiration.
I've got the greatest mind.
And
By your
Monarchos.
generation. What was it?
Oh, Monarchos. You find that laughter quite funny, quite amusing. Ah, what a pleasant guy. To you, that sounds familiar, but just like everything else about this guy, you can't really put your finger on it. Arltex, you remember his name is the Void Scriber. You remember the last time you heard this laughter, you were looking at something that your mind could not digest or absorb. You were seeing an entire planet, an entire galaxy being consumed by the Far Realm. You remember as a vivid memory that you were not this form that you currently are. You remember that you were the form that you are currently hunting and pursuing. You remember coming here to this place to look for a safe port, a safe haven, to share the trauma of that experience and how it shattered everything you've believed to be truth about the multiverse and being a god, and how it shattered your identities and everything you thought that you knew about deities and the multiverse and D&D, material planes and wild spaces everywhere. All the knowledge you had gathered was all based on fundamentally a lie, or at least an omission. You remember the thought of as if you had been sold a scam, as if you had believed in something your whole life and suddenly you've discovered it was all false. And the only ones that could understand you were your friends. And as you look around, you see these three with a confused looking in their faces, as they don't seem to be remembering the same thing. And you remember reaching out to them and coming here to meet the three of them to share the experience, and as they are probably the only ones who would ever understand what you meant. You just went into a tavern and you just wanted to share your mind and your thoughts, and you've met this other demigod there, this Zane guy, who seemed very excited about going to war and becoming a hero of the people of Greyhawk, while you guys, you just wanted to share a beer and have a heart-to-heart. But yeah, and then you've been dragged into the front line of this war, because you've heard there were creatures that mind could not explain. Their forms were not standard. They were not still. They simply wouldn't stay the same. And you remember thinking, "Oh, the Far Realm is here," and I thought we would be isolated and as far away from the Far Realm here as any place could be in the multiverse, as Greyhawk is right in the center of AO's creation. And then you remember going into that fight, heading with your friends and with the Zane guy, which you guys made into some sort of reindeer, flying through the air with a flying chariot. And when you arrive in this very encampment, you've encountered yourselves as you are now. You fought yourselves, you've ran away, you've attempted to obliterate that wizard that is right in front of you. You remember all the details. You remember Ixtihil eating the rats. Ah, disgusting. While you were trying to concentrate on your inner thoughts and in your reading. And then you remember coming back here, starting to look for Zane, and looking for if you can find any signs of where those creatures were coming from. And while you start to do that, you found a portal. And you've decided that the best way to stop those creatures from ever coming back to Greyhawk was to cross the portal. And also you were kind of curious of what was in the other side. So you guys decided to cross it, and the rest of this story you remember perfectly. You remember exactly how you got here. And so you now have the possession of the full memory of all the knowledge that you need to know when your other version of yourself, your past self, will get back here. You know what they're going to be looking for, and even the why. You remember everything crystal clear. And all thanks to that laughter that was so traumatic, imprinted in your mind, that even in this form now, it unleashed a flood of memories.
Excellent. So I'm basically myself again. Yes.
You remember everything.
Except my body is different. I get it. But so I do have all my memories.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. I don't. Can I convince the rest of the group of this truth?
Well, you convinced them to abandon syntax and grammar, so perhaps it's just a way of how you say it.
Oh. I will just attempt to convey. Well, actually, I can talk fine. I know their plans. They are us. I am the little raccoon one. I don't understand. He's kind of ugly, but I guess that's my real form. Maybe I can change that later. But anyway, they were us. Us the whole time. To Loompa or anyone who will listen, I guess.
Loompa is too distracted by brushing her hair upwards and making sure it follows no specific pattern. She's looking for complete randomness, and that's very difficult to achieve. So she's doing her best. Minarcos?
Oh, yeah,
Ixtihulgra? Do you understand anything that all text is saying? What is he talking about? How could that be?
Ixtihulgra is going to look at you and cock his head in just general confusion, then go back to surveying the battlefield and seeing that the wizard is still there. Yep, just gonna light him up.
Oh my. So wait. Can I body block the wizard?
You can divinely negate that.
That's expensive. Sure. I will do that. I'll divine negate. And then I will say, wait, still, let me show you. Just 2 minutes.
Cascade! Madness! What? Fall?
Do you trust me, Xteel? At all?
Waterfall?
I'll take that as a yes. And I'm going to attempt to cast Modify Memory.
Very well. Oh, that gotta be a good explanation.
Oh.
Very well, Arlith.
So I'm making a wisdom save against this.
Yes, wisdom 27 save.
Oh, yikes.
All right. Very well. You've passed.
Man. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Not ideal for me.
And Arltax, somehow in his insanity, he's the most wise. and he manages to somehow be unaffected, or perhaps his brain is so scrambled right now that you can find a single thread of memory that you can actually put together to make a coherent thought that you can manipulate.
Hold up. Can I use my heroic inspiration to re-roll that and see if I can get below a 27?
By all means, but we are in 2024. If you want to fail the save, you can just simply choose to.
All right, yeah, I'll just choose to fail the save. I didn't realize that was an option in
well,
2024.
that was an option before you rolled the save.
Oh, okay, my bad. Well, all right. Can I use my heroic inspiration to re-roll it and just choose to fail on the re-roll?
Yes, you can.
All right. So I'm just gonna unclick my heroic inspiration, burn the inspiration, and just say that I failed the roll.
Very well. For Artax,
right.
as you are attempting to pull any strand of coherent thought out of his mind, you dig deeper with your psionics and you've managed to find something there. They're still connected together to make some sort of sense. Now, explain to us what you're trying to accomplish with this spell.
I want to give him the perfect memory of the 10 minutes leading to him walking into the portal.
So you used a 7th level spell slot for this, right?
Yeah, it's stated as one of the effects. You can
well. You can alter something up to 30 days ago.
A 6th level. We left today, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see what I did. I didn't mean to click 7th level.
Yeah, you cast it at 7 levels, so you can actually modify not just what happened in the last 10 minutes, but you can go back 30 days ago if you want to.
Yeah, so I 6th level. Sorry, I didn't mean to click. So I meant to do 6th level, which would have been 24 hours. Or so hold on, I messed something up.
Very well.
7 days ago for a 6th level slot. Sorry, I clicked modify memory the first one I saw when I scrolled through my spell list. I forget that D&D Beyond automatically shows them. Either way, we walked through the portal less than 7 days ago. Yeah.
Very well.
So are you doing just like the time period up to the going into the portal, or like are you doing the whole like? So because we were in the pocket dimension thing for.
Well, I can only give you 10 minutes of memory.
It's a 10 minutes of memory within the last 30 days.
Oh, gotcha.
Hours.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you the memory of yourself existing and walking into the portal as Ixtihul. Because I can restore your memory with the spell. There's you can cause the target to have a perfect memory of the event. That was in the text somewhere. Yeah, you can allow the target to recall the event with perfect clarity.
All right, and I'm gonna look at you as my eyes sort of glaze and unglaze and focus on you with a little bit of like a glimmer of understanding in them, and then okay, so and I'm not even sure how to really process that because he still can't talk coherently because the memory thing didn't undo that, right?
There is only one little problem with that spell, Altex. As you are attempting to pull that strand of thought, and you're attempting to make the magic stick enough in his brain that you can activate the right areas so that he remembers, the magic simply doesn't stick. It doesn't stay there. You are putting the psionics in his mind, and it's like it just slips away. His mind is elusive. And that's when you remember, god damn it. He is a demigod. Or at least he was one. And he probably still carries that immunity to being charmed that all the demigods have.
So I guess I'm gonna go back to just wailing on his wizard.
For a split second, you see the image of yourself as Ixtihul in your mind, but it just flees away. Artax, that is too complex of a mind.
complex of a completely insane mind.
That moment in time when your immunities play against you. So, Artex, what is plan B?
I'll get back to you. There was no plan B.
There wasn't one. You know what?
Minarcos, how
Yes.
do you react about what Artex is doing or trying to convey to you guys?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can I convince them that I cast the spell again? It worked. You should be remembering now. You were him.
You can, if you phrase in a way that makes them questioning their convictions, and if you use that special little power of introspection you have, yes. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't need reactions again.
Very well. Very well. So you lose your reactions as you go fully introspective. Now, could you phrase in a way that that would make them rethink their beliefs, that they are different creatures from the ones that just fled the scene?
Okay. Okay, well, I'm thinking, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I tell you what, it seems like a good time for us to take a quick 10 minutes bio break for you guys to figure out how you get out of this, and we'll be right back right after this, right at this little commercial break. We'll be back in 10-ish minutes, everybody, after this bio break for our players, to give them some time, you know, to process this stuff. Yes, I think only Zane. Zane, if you're there, we can't hear you. I saw he connected.
It says 2 people are muted, so if you're talking, you're muted.
I'm back. I'm just on mute, so avoid background noise.
Very well. All right, let me bring you guys back to where we left off. You are still in that moment in time where you're asking yourselves, what's next? You had an encounter with the void, or not an encounter in the sense of D&D. You've met again the void scriber, who came. Is almost like that guy who always comes to say, "I told you so," or that guy who comes to laugh the moment you stumbled upon something, and he's always there to like put some salt in the wound. It's particularly strange how his timing is always uncanny. It's like he's always watching you guys, a bit of a stalker. Anyway, that's a problem for another day. Right now, you have bigger things to worry about. Lumpur is so worried about her hair being random that she's not paying attention to anything you guys are saying. She's far beyond lost in her own thoughts. Ortex was thinking, what is the wording that he's going to use to make Monarchos and Ixiugra believe that the creatures they were hunting are actually their past selves? Ortex, did you come up with something?
Maybe. Maybe. I'll say to them, don't you realize, despite how ugly they were, how similar they were to each of us. I mean, they even wore the same equipment. Look, this ring that... And I'll activate the Sun Eater's mind and swap places with Ixtihul, but hard to pronounce. Harder to pronounce. Or I guess I'll attempt to.
Yeah, can we use items
Yeah.
or equipped items in this
Yeah.
form?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your previous the items you had on you, they've merged into this new form. As you say that, Arltax, Ixtihulgra and Monarchos. Hello, Zane. Welcome to the game. Would you like to say hello to our audience and tell us a little bit about how Zenitil is feeling tonight?
Hey guys, it's Zane here. I'm on vacation, so it's great. New place, new season. I'm ready to flex my muscles and break some skulls with my new friends. I'll take them everywhere.
However, Zane, I must warn you, tonight you are not playing your normal, original self. You're playing your Eldritch Horror counterpart in Zenitil.
Oh! I'm so sorry. Man, the Far Realm is totally great. The bar, the drinks, you can see so many different places with them. I can't believe we looked through that telescope.
I know, right? And by the way, the bartender was so nice, wasn't he? You guys get along so well. And Thingamajig, such a nice guy. Curious stuff in his laboratory. All his eyes roll when you say something stupid. All 147 of them. Very, very, very funny guy. And Zane, I will cut to you in a second. Before right now, Arltax just said something to Ixtihulgra and Monarchos. And you know, guys, you know, Ixtihulgra, you've been looking at this creature trying to talk, that draw eyes on itself. And Monarchos, you've come to think, both of you come to think that perhaps these less privileged creatures that were born with lesser eyes, with no tentacles, with a less functional form, perhaps they are a primitive, unevolved versions of yourselves. Perhaps what Arltax is really trying to say to you is for you to find in your heart the goodness and the charity required to see that these creatures, perhaps they have potential. Perhaps there is salvation for them. Perhaps there's something you can do for their useless form that would bring them to become you and to evolve into something more like you guys.
I was going to continue speaking after we swap places.
Go ahead.
Well, contrary to what you just said, what I'm going to attempt to incept into their brains.
Very well.
We were sent here to prevent them from becoming us so that we could continue to be them again. We have to earn our way to these immaculate, perfect forms. We were just accidentally. We weren't supposed to exist like this. We're not good enough yet.
I just want to point out that when swapping places, I am 30 feet in the air, or was 30 feet in the air.
That's fine. I can fall.
Yeah, just you're saying that as you are falling to the ground.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a funny image.
I just didn't think about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's on brand right now.
Oh.
Very well.
Oh.
And as you fall to the ground to to your many tentacles that soften the blow, Arltex. And as you hit the ground, and what would be your last sentence, your conclusion, the hook that will stay in their mind? The takeaway from everything you've said.
We need to return to our original forms to earn our perfect forms.
You know what, Ixtihulgra? Monarchos? During that fight with these creatures, they did manage to harm you. They've managed to use powers against you. They've managed to diminish you. And if those creatures, as he says, are some sort of unevolved versions of yourselves, primal versions of yourselves, then perhaps you haven't earned this form yet. You haven't earned this evolution, because they shouldn't even be able to touch you. You are not powerful enough. You are not making... Perhaps the way to learn how to perfectly use 17 eyes in your head is to learn how to live with just 2. You know, like the monks that blind their senses in order to become even better at their martial arts? Perhaps that's what Artax is trying to say to you. Perhaps by numbing down your senses and your abilities and your functional capabilities, which you've become so reliant upon, you will learn how to use them even better.
So then we are convinced?
You are convinced. I'm not sure if it's what Arltex exactly wanted to convince you, but you are convinced that there is value in devolve yourself, into regress your evolution into these forms, into these primal forms, in order to become even better and more deserving of the form you have right now, so that you are not dependent on 17 eyes. Perhaps if you learn just to use 2, when you have 17, you're going to be far superior, and these creatures are never going to be able to touch you again.
So what we need to do is break the cycle. Then the timeline will shift. We will revert to our normal body, our original primal, inferior, ugly bodies.
Fractured?
What?
Silence? Confusion. Remember, Ixihulgra can't form proper sentences.
Huh?
So he's just spouting random words.
I mean, Narcos.
Also, what if we need to be confined by language to understand the freedoms we've been granted?
Does that come with the force of the same thing that...
Is he saying, by the way, Artex, I just want to remind you, every time you use that power, you lose 1 essence. So,
Oh, cool.
I've counted at least 7 so far. With everything. So Arltex, as you were saying this about this last part, Ixihul Monarchos, if you want, what is he talking about? Breaking the cycle? What is as you're trying to process that, in the background, you can hear the sounds of blows and explosion and the metal hitting against each other. Let's take a look on how things look on that side. Oh yes, in Zenithil. It seems
I see.
It seems that you are fighting your counterpart, and he is fast, but not as fast as you are. In Zenithil, please click on your token and roll initiative.
Let's hope my roll 20 works on this. Did that approach?
You've rolled a 24.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. We're tied.
And yes, and I've rolled a 24. Very well. So we're gonna have to untie this. Roll again.
Natural 20.
Very well, still a 24. And you get inspiration. And you are indeed the faster among the two of you. You've been switching blows and powerful blows, and in the middle of your battle, kind of something in the background that you haven't actually paid too much attention to it. You've kind of activate some sort of portal. You had no idea it was there, but the blood spilled on the ground apparently activated that portal, and well, you have spilled quite a lot of blood from this other creature. You kind of don't remember exactly why you're fighting it, but doesn't really matter. I mean, you might as well just defeated him, and then you figure out later why is that you had to defeat him. Roll
Are you talking about
intelligence.
this
Yes.
giant thing or this guy? Oh, okay.
You are fighting that guy, and in your fight, some blood was spilled on top of this, and activated that massive portal on the background there, which you kind of, I mean, it's something you've been ignoring because you've been fully focused on the fight right now.
Hold on, let me refresh D&D Beyond. It's not letting me click intelligence. Yeah, no, it's not letting me click intelligence. All right, I'll just do a manual roll.
Very well.
Uh, 10.
Oh yeah, you have no idea why you're fighting this guy, but you discover later. Perhaps you can ask Arltex after you're done with him.
His muscles are great, though, but not as good as mine.
No, he doesn't have any eyes or tentacles on his muscles, and look at his wings are so weird. Why are they so clean and neat and symmetrical? That certainly makes him slower.
He must be a pretty boy warrior, afraid to get blood on his wings and weapon.
Yeah, most likely. So, in Zenithil, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
All right, as a bonus action, Xanatil will rage.
Oh, he's already raged at this point.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize that. Okay, so...
This fight has been ongoing for quite some time, since the last session.
Oh, okay. Then what I will do with Xanathil is I'll charge 10 feet and get out my Furious Flail. I'll Reckless so I have advantage, and then forego it for Brutal Strike.
Okay.
One moment, and I already have... I'll choose Acid as my Elemental Cleaver damage. Since I'm already raged, I'm assuming it's that.
Very well.
Two-handing this. Let me do the first strike. Let's see if it lands. It's not actually letting me roll attack. Do I need to redo Beyond 20 or the extension?
Okay.
One sec. Sorry about that, guys. It's been like a month and a half since I've seen everyone.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm not on my normal computer for the week. And then just re-roll, what's it called? D&D Beyond, and it'll work.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I swing that flail.
Very well.
Oh, it rolled the damage. Hold on. Does a 24 hit?
A 24 hits, yes.
All right, so I'm going to include a few features on this. I'm going to use my, what's it called? My Strike of the Giants and my Blood Fury tattoo, so I'm going to be doing a lot of damage.
Very well.
I got a Blood Fury for 4d6 necrotic. I got Frost Strike for 1d6 cold. And then for my Barbarian Brutal Strikes, I'm going to do... What's it called? I'll do Staggering Blow. So they'll have disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes, and it can't make an opportunity attacks. And I'm also going to do Forceful Blow, which will push them 15 feet away from me, and I can move half my speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Okay.
And then meanwhile, Zane here, well, I'm taking care of this, is just going to need to do a DC 20 for con save. And if he fails, his speed is reduced to 0. On success, he still takes the full damage. So while you do that, I'll calculate all the damage I need to roll. So 29 bludgeoning, 3 fire, 16 necrotic, 2d10 from the brutal strike, 1d6 cold. Oh yeah, 1d8 from the charge attack as well. And then 2d6 from the elemental cleaver.
Very well.
Alright, so after rolling all that damage...
There's a total of?
48 bludgeoning,
Yeah.
4 acid, 16 necrotic, 2 cold, and 3 fire damage.
Well, you are immune against fire, thanks to your boon of fires of the fire soul. And you are resistant against cold. I assume there's no necrotic in the middle of that?
I'm also resistant to necrotic because of Morning Steel Demi-Gauntlets.
Excellent. So with that, the fire damage can be ignored.
Yep.
And you take, you said it's 12 cold?
No, 2 cold.
2 cold, okay. So that becomes 28, 29 points of damage altogether.
Yep, from acid, bludgeoning, cold, and necrotic, since fire's immune.
Very well.
He's also has, 15 feet pushed back without save. He also has disadvantage on his next saving throws, and he can't make opportunity attacks until the next turn. and he has to do a DC 24 con save or his speed is 0. And with Vex, with the spell mastery, he has disadvantage on his attack rolls until my next turn.
Very well.
And then I'll hit him again with on the left cheek with my Furious Flail. I go right for his stomach on the first one, and straight for his head on the second one.
Very well. As you hit him with the first one, and you are using your flail, and this flail has this it's inflamed, but it has this strange flame that seems to have dark contours to it, the dark outline. As you hit him the first time, you can see that his flesh and his skin all trembled with it. As you are releasing the power of this flail on him, and you are using all these different abilities to try and stagger him, I'm gonna ask you to roll a d6 for me.
Oh. 3.
Instead of a staggering blow, the flail hits him and release this powerful emanation of static that spreads from him, and he has to do a DC 20 intelligence saving throw, or he's going to take 6d6 points of psychic damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful one. And on a failed save, he has muddled thoughts for 1 minute. During this time, he rolls a d6 and subtracts the number roll from its attack rolls and ability checks, as well as any constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. He can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of these turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. So instead of staggering, you're giving him muddled thoughts.
Wait, that's him, not me, right?
That's not you. That's your past self. And your
my
past
bad.
self and your past self passes the save, so he doesn't have but he will still take half of the damage. Please roll 6d6 for me.
All right, 16 to 8.
Very well. He takes 8 points of psychic damage from that attack. Go ahead and roll your next attack. Oh, wait.
Oh, I rolled an 8.
He has a reaction. As a reaction, fun times. As a reaction to your attack, he can attack you back thanks to his Bloody Flurry tattoo. And he is going to make a melee attack against you with the very same abilities that you added to your attack.
Actually, since he has disadvantage, he cannot use his Brutal Strike because of my Vex.
Very well. So he'll use. It says that he attacks with advantage back. So you make a melee attack against that creature with advantage on your attack roll. So because of your Vex, he has disadvantage, so he's just going to do a normal attack. Very well. Very well. And with that, yeah, well, technically the attack doesn't have disadvantage. Because the disadvantage was nullified. Alright, so he's not gonna use Brutal Strike, but he will use, yeah. He won't use Brutal Strike, so he's just going to attack normally. Very well. So with that, he attacks you back for... You won't believe it! A nat 20!
Can I use my inspiration?
That's your own character sheet against yourself. You want to give? Do you don't have inspiration in your character?
No, you gave it to me for the natural 20 earlier with that initiative.
Oh yes, very well, very well. So you can use your inspiration. You want to give him disadvantage?
Yes, please.
Very well. Does a dirty 20 hit you?
He misses.
Very well. He throws his flail back at you, and you use your speed to dodge him. But this guy's not playing around. I mean, if he hits you nicely, he can really hurt you. Go ahead and perform your second attack.
All right. Also, because I used the okay, yeah, my second attack. Let me see. It was that 18. Do you want me to re-roll it or use that?
The 18, the second attack 18
Because,
is not gonna hit him.
I did it above without realizing it.
Yeah, it's not gonna hit him.
I used Boon of Combat Prowess, so once per turn, it can hit, regardless.
Very well.
And this will just be without Brutal Strike since I can't forego advantage again. So he'll take 21 bludgeoning, 7 fire, so just 21 bludgeoning.
Very well. As you've released this second attack, and you hit him again, roll a d6.
6.
Very well. The moment you hit him with the flail, this nightmarish burst of dark energy just burst out of the flail, with skull-like whisks of the flame just flying out into his mind. And as they do, the target is assailed by illusory manifestations of its fears. And it must make a DC 20 intelligence saving throw or takes 8d10 points of psychic damage or half as much on a success. So roll 8d10 for me. And
While I do that, question from prior attack. I also did Forceful Blow since I got 2 Brutal Strikes. Was he able to be pushed 15 feet since there's no save for that? We're still within range since of our rage increases our reach, but still.
Roll another d6 for that.
Okay. Oh. And then I'll roll the, you said 8d10?
Very well. And that forceful blow becomes a burst of rot. The target must make a DC 20 intelligence saving throw on a failure. Its gray matter deteriorates. It takes 8d6 points of necrotic damage, and it has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls it makes until the end of its next turn. On a success, it takes half as much damage and suffers no additional effect.
So how many of these do I have to roll? I have to roll 2 like different d6s then.
Yes, he has to roll 2 intelligence saves, DC 20. So here's the first one, which he passed, and here's the second one, which he failed with a nat 1. However, doesn't he have something here? Oh yes, he does. He uses his divine resistance, and
I use my divine negation.
I can't negate divine resistance with divine negation.
Oh, okay.
So he used his divine resistance, and he passed that check that he failed. So that way he passes both checks. Roll the damage for me, please. It's 8d10.
How much? 8d10.
And it's 8d6. Do I remember? Yeah, 8d6 necrotic and 8d10 psychic.
Okay, so that's 80 points in total from everything.
Very well. Well, he has resistance to necrotic, so the second part is only half.
Okay, so then 14, 20, 28 necrotic.
Very well. So that's 4. He takes 14 less. So he takes 66. And with that, he, as you slam him again, you've realized that he's bleeding profusely, and he's having to use all his power against you, all his abilities just to stop your blows. And he notices your mace is more powerful than his mace. What else would you like to do in Zenithil?
As my bonus action, I'm gonna try Mighty Impale to throw him.
Very well.
He needs to do a DC 24 strength save, which I'm sure he's got that, but we'll see.
Yeah, he passes.
Yeah, definitely.
Very well.
And what I'll do with my movement, because I'm enraged, so I get 110 flight.
Yeah.
I am going to. Well, he has disadvantage on this, so I'm going to take the opportunity attack and then fly over to here and bring him close to the skull near the portal. Trying to goad him over to here.
Very well. As you fly near the portal, is that the end of your turn?
I have like 10 more feet. I want to like go right here. So right there.
Very well. It's now his turn, and he realizes what you have done and the damage you have caused him, and he says, "Well, that was not nice. You're quite the opponent. I have to say, you've been quite the opponent. But I know when I have to do a tactical retreat in order to win the next day. Leave to fight another day." And as he says that, he rushes full speed and flies through the portal. And as
Can I use my legendary action after that?
Yes, but first let me resolve his action. He uses his full speed and flies through the portal. The moment he crosses the portal, the flail that you're holding falls from your hand. And as it's falling from your hand, it passes through the skull as if it was a ghost, and it hits the ground and it disappears. As you are looking into your hand, you think, "What? Why did that drop?" And as you look into your hand, your own hand is fading away. And you start to touch your body, and your entire body starts to fade away. And before you can even shout to the others, you vanish in a blink of an eye. And
All right.
and on that note,
Grandfathered yourself out of the universe.
and on that note, let me come back to the party, back in the camp. Guys, something wrong. You can sense the telepathic connection you had within Zenithil. It's almost as if he was out of the grid. How is that possible? You all have been psychically connected all this time. How could you have gone someplace, anywhere, that you wouldn't be able to talk to him psychically? That is strange. Would be even more strange if that Zane creature had defeated him. No, that can't be right. Something gotta be wrong about this place. Artex, remind us, where was the conversation about what you're trying to convince Ixtihulgra and Minarchos?
I think at this point they just believe that they need to return to their old bodies, just for the purposes of I guess learning how to better cope with their perfect bodies, which is good enough for me.
And also return to normal conventions of language structure.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, you're trying to convince them to come back to normal conventions of language structure, which means right now you guys think he's trying to convince you to be a double agent. You know, the best way to cause a revolution is from the inside. And you start to think, oh yes, maybe he's right. Perhaps let's not be slaves of grammar and syntax, but rather let's use that so that we can sabotage grammar and syntax from the inside. Let's slowly change the meaning and how words are used in cultures and everywhere. And eventually, everyone is going to be using them wrong without even knowing. You want to pull a spy move on grammar. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant strategy, Artex. Not only you guys are going to be
genius.
Tactical genius. I mean, not only you guys are going to be better at sabotaging language by using and only sabotaging here and there where you think you can influence someone to misunderstand as well and start to use it wrong. But also, you're gonna know how to use your senses and your tentacles in your eyes all the better. So Minarchos and Ixiorgra, what would you like to do?
I am so confused. Like above the table, even. Like.
So Artex, how are they going to go back to be their old selves? What do they have to do?
We just have to either stop ourselves from going through the portal and unknowingly doom Zane, because he already did.
Or we could remove ourselves from being alive.
I don't think I could convince you to do that, nor do I think I want to do that myself.
Well, see, the thing is, if we stop the aliving of our past selves, they get sent to respawn, and we never go through the portal to begin with. Therefore, none of this ever happens.
What do you mean they get sent to respawn? I don't.
That's how gods work.
Oh, you're right.
So we don't. The only thing they lose is time, and it solves this problem potentially, as long as when we return to our past selves, we decide not to come back and go do something else with our time.
Seems like a big assumption.
Yeah,
you
it's
still
50-50.
lose Zane.
It's a 50-50 plan. I mean, he'd have to.
At this point, well, okay, we don't know
50-50
Zane went through the portal, so that's one thing. Can I infer that that's likely what happened, seeing as he would be in a different plane of existence and I couldn't talk to him at that point?
That is the problem. Even if he was in the far realm, telepathically would still be able to talk to him. So either he's dead, or something even more macabre has happened.
He never existed in this timeline anymore. We
Yeah,
still
most
remember
likely
him.
dead.
I mean, that's basically the same thing, yeah.
So we just, okay, if we can if we have to figure out how to speak to ourselves, we also have to figure out what's up with this time dilation. What's going on there? It doesn't really matter if it takes us 4 years to go a week. While we wait for ourselves.
Yeah, it seems
mean-
as since you guys crossed through that bubble, time has been very dilated.
I mean, it's a problem, but it's also not a problem. Eldritch beings don't particularly care about time, or at least the concept of it.
Oh.
Well, if you remember what you've discussed with Thingamajig, and they say that Eldritch Horrors live outside time, the time and space rules don't apply to the horrors, to the far realm.
Okay. This is probably just our perception then. This is just how it works for us. No, because it was frozen for us as demigods too when we were not Eldritch Horrors.
That is true.
So just our mere presence.
On the other side of the portal, Zane, you find yourself navigating to a strange space. Something that... A place that looks, well... Only Zane is there. A place that looks like this. And you look into this infinite place and you have the impression of deja vu, but that's just an impression. As your eyes try to adjust to this place, in the distance, you see a tavern floating on top of a rock. And that just looks like a nice place. It's a nice place for you to land.
I need some drinks after getting beaten up.
Oh yeah, you have no idea what this place is or what those giant tentacles are, but who needs to answer all the questions? You head towards a tavern. Let's go have a drink, maybe. And there you are. You arrive in this tavern. You see lights on the inside. You can hear some live piano being played. What do you do, Zane?
1 second, my little tone crashed for a second. Well, I'll go up to the bartender. Just because I have some bloods and bruises on me and I need a good drink to numb the pain and relax. I'm like, hello, anyone there?
Oh, hello there, buddy. Come on in. We're open. Oh, how funny. You're also disguised as one of these funny creatures. Oh, yeah. We call the Night of the Horrors. In here, yes. We're celebrating the Night of the Horrors, where we disguise as these primitive creatures, and we serve all sorts of thematic drinks. Would you like some thematic drink?
Well, I
to
love a
celebrate
costume
us?
party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like a drink.
For the occasion. That is amazing. Is it? I mean, you look very, very authentic.
I appreciate it. I have a good workout. It's hard to get these muscles in shape to make them look as they are.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Hey, look, first one's on the house.
Well, I appreciate it. Which drink is this one again, you said?
What drink is this one? I call it
Yeah.
a dream spawn.
Oh, that's a sick name. And then Zane will take the cup and it says cheers and drink it.
Very well.
Zane, as you drink this, you suddenly feel as if this place was the best place for you to be. This moment was the right moment in time for you to be. You feel as if fate itself has brought you here, and that this person who served you this drink is the best person. Oh my god, you feel comfortable as if you were having the best dream of your life. A dream you don't want to wake up from. And you just want to keep drinking and having fun and talking to this such interesting gentleman that is serving you all these interesting looking drinks. Is that a knife floating in your cup?
Oh, Legend, I can't really see the map. I just see it all grayed out.
You only see all grayed out?
It's like a dark version of the tavern compared to what I see on the YouTube video.
Very well, let me...
Is it just,
Oh, there we go.
Isn't the lighting messed up for him?
Done.
Yeah, I can see everything.
Very well. And yeah, is there a knife floating in your cup? Who cares? It tastes wonderful. It tastes like happiness.
This is such a great drink. Whew. Do I feel anything as I drink this aside from happiness?
Yes, you feel as if you feel like everything around you is comfortable, is soft, and it feels like you are in a dream and you never want to wake up. You feel like the gentleman in front of you is the nicest person you ever met and the most interesting one, and yeah, you feel you just feel really good. And for the rest
Thank
of the
you. This is
party,
great.
back in the camp. So, Artex, what is the next step?
I don't know. I'm the one who had the unlucky fortune of being understanding of the situation. Okay. So we need to communicate with ourselves, me think. Because otherwise the cycle just perpetuates. Or we kill each other, and that doesn't really help anybody. So we need to figure out a way to do that.
Well, with the thing you just did, we can talk like in sentences again, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're now-
however, we speak a language they don't understand.
But I mean, we can talk to each other now.
Yes?
That sounds very convincing.
I believe
Yes,
so.
you can talk to each other. Yes, you can.
Okay. Well, that's progress at least. Because now we can like start formulating a plan instead of just like you talking to us and us spouting out random words.
It is nice.
Have gotten rid of the curse of small green man.
And you have the memory of everything that happened prior to us being transformed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so probably just filling us in on that is the way to go, which I think you can probably just say that you fill us in and or explain it to us and try to convince us.
I will do my best to remind you of the yous you were.
I feel like that's gonna take some persuading.
Maybe just memory.
Yeah.
The use was and not the use are.
The we are. Which was a great episode of that TV show. However,
Does your explanation of things involve the previous time we encountered this wizard? Or are you leaving that part out?
you know, until you mentioned it, I wasn't thinking about him, so I probably wouldn't have been thinking about him.
All right. Then I guess I'm only, as invested in continuing to obliterate him as I already was for his lack of tentacles.
Okay.
As that thought crosses your mind, you've noticed that his eyes are staring at you, Ixtihugra, and his mouth seems to just be finishing a sentence. And as it does, it seems that he casts something that relates to time. And he casts Time Stop. And as he does so, it does not affect any of the four of you, but it does affect him. As he casts Time Stop, suddenly he can see all of you perfectly. And he can sense all of you. His blindness seems to go away. He did something to it. And he looks at all of you, and now he can talk, and he says, "You are here. You are all here. Dolls, I knew you existed. I knew you were true. Yes, I knew creatures like you were not just nightmares. Oh, powerful you are. Beyond the imagination of those who live here, beyond these fake gods that live in this material plane. Oh, you mighty creatures. Oh, I am your servant. Oh, yes, your humble servant. Oh, I can't believe I'm having the honor to meet all of you. Ah, I only have a few seconds, but please, please, teach me what can I do to help you in your mission in this plane to consume all those false gods."
How would you like to be a mouthpiece, buddy? We just need a translation service.
How do you say that, Arltex?
What do you mean?
Do you say that speaking, or do you say telepathically? How are you saying that?
I'm gonna try and ham it up a bit. I want this guy to believe me, so I'll just psionic it into his brain.
Very well. As you say that psionically to his brain, he has to roll a sanity check.
Okay.
And he fails.
It's very funny if he fails.
And
He's just his head explodes.
and he just goes like, oh, I can sense your communication is so powerful. Your mind is so advanced. Oh, I am not worthy. I am not worthy of understand your language. And you realize he didn't get anything you said to him.
Well, I had hopes, guys.
Just use
Wait,
more
what's his
scope.
maximum sanity? 10? How much did he just lose?
He starts with 10. He now has 8.
Oof. Poor guy.
But we can understand him, right?
You can understand him, yes.
Okay.
The problem
Right,
is
for
when
being
you
higher dimensional
communicate with this creature, be because you're dilating time or because you are using some sort of communication that is beyond its primitive brain, it doesn't quite understand what you are saying. It to you it sounds like you're talking perfectly. To the creature, just sounds something like this.
Gotcha.
Thanks, I hate it. You know what? I gotta wonder now. If just speaking to them causes sanity damage, could you say power word kill and then just like have a guy fall over from like just instant insanity?
Well, Artex, this is the only creature in this plane besides yourselves, your past selves, that you guys have been able to talk to. And he says he only has a few seconds to be able to communicate with you. And that's exactly what I'm gonna give all of you. I'm gonna give all of you 3 rounds to decide what you want to do with the opportunity to talk to someone in this material plane. So, Artex, you've already tried. So it's Yulgra and Monarchos. The 2 of you. Anything you would like to do?
Go spread the word in my name.
You say that talking or you say that telepathically?
Nope, that's just talking.
Very well.
Can't speak telepathically.
And he loses a little bit more of sanity and he says, oh, the powerful roar of your communication is beyond my understanding. Almighty, superior creature, please teach me your ways. And he falls on his knees. Monarchos, what would you like to do?
See, I could be serious and try and say something, or I could be really funny because there's the opportunity to be really funny here, and I kind of want to do it. So Man Marco will tell him, "People are tasty, eat them." Right to his brain, just direct brain language. People are tasty, you should eat them.
Very well. And he says, oh, I can't quite get what you say to me, but the message, the language is beyond my primitive brain. Please, I would convert into you. Please give me a chance. Make my flesh your sculpture.
That gives me an idea.
And with that, Arltex, what would you like to do?
So, do you remember when Arlthex almost absorbed Arlith in the pre-loop?
Yes.
What do you think would happen if I did that to this man?
You asking me or the others?
I'm asking you. Well, I guess. What do I think? Yeah, I guess. What is my intuition as to what that would do? Is that just death?
Your intuition.
Now that I'm on the other side of it, you know.
Roland. Well, you know. You remember. Let's see what you remember. Roll an intelligence check.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. 22.
Very well. You think now that he talks about sculpting his flesh, you think you can do something like that? I mean, you can sculpt your own flesh. You could potentially just open the tentacles that form your body and just consume this creature and sculpt it, and then it spit out like you were birthing another Eldritch Horror. Yeah, you could definitely do that. If you survive the process, that's a different thing.
I also don't want to do him too much because I still need him to speak English to talk to us, or common.
Very well.
Maybe not. I don't know.
He seems
Fancy
fairly
cleric
wounded,
ability that I
by the
want
way.
to see what the Eldritch version of is.
Oh, I just had the most horrible idea.
You know, I have an
Yes.
ability called Host of Heroes, which lets me make, magic food that gives a bunch of buffs. What does the Eldritch version of that do to somebody? That's the question.
Okay, is it? Are we back at my attempt? Is it my second attempt now?
Yes.
Can I see his spell focus, or like what he uses to cast with?
Yeah, he carries a staff and a spell book.
I will, using several tentacles, point at both staff and spell book, and then also point at his mouth, like his tongue. Try to cast tongues, please.
Roll performance.
Oh, I'm good at that one.
Yeah. Very
30.
well. And now I'm gonna roll insight for him.
That one. I believe in you, random wizard man. You've got this.
Very well. He looks at you and he realizes you're pointing to his spell book, and he says, "You are brilliant." And he pulls his spell book and he opens it and he rips off one of the pages and he puts it in his mouth and he eats it. Yes, I can sense the taste of the magic. You are right. I should eat my spells.
Okay, next one up. That's my turn.
Ixihurgra, what would you like to do?
I think Metamarco should go next because I don't think this guy's gonna survive mine.
Okay, Minarcos, what would you like to do? Minarchaos.
The question is, I don't know if I have enough time to use the host of hero abilities, but time is kind of wonky right now, and it'd be really funny if I could. Because normally it takes a while to do, but I don't know if that's the same for the Eldritch version of it, and I can't just conjure Eldritch food for somebody to eat. Give that man some Eldritch rations.
You want to... what is the spell you want to use?
It's a feature, but I think does that just make it pop up? There you go. I would like to give this man some Eldritch rations and see what happens.
Oh, but that's the course of an hour. Oh, yeah. You wouldn't be able to cast now.
Yeah, I know. My question was more of like, does the cast time remain the same even though it's, been altered by weird Eldritch bullshit?
Well, it would even be longer now because time is dilated.
Hope I tried.
If you can avoid killing him, I do have one more thought.
I'm going to take his spellbook and I'm going to eat it.
Very well.
Who of us can play at this game?
Very well. Monarchos, how do you want to take his spellbook? With your tentacles?
Oh no. I'm not even gonna like take it from him. I'm going to walk up and eat it out of his hands. Just like hands and all. I'm just chomping chomping the whole thing off and nom.
Excellent. Roll the attack. Roll an unarmed attack.
Roll an armed attack to eat a book out of somebody's hands.
Well, you said you might eat his hand as well, so.
If it's in the way, you know.
Well, it's definitely in the way since he's holding the book. Very well. You attempt to eat his book, but for whatever reason, there's a shimmering barrier of light that blocks your jaw, and he looks at you and says, "Oh, yes, I understand." And then he removes the sheer barrier of light, and he willingly gives his hand and his book to you for you to eat. Roll damage.
I'm gonna eat that book. Yeah.
Very well.
You know what? This is probably for the best because now he can't retaliate.
You give the guy 12 points of munching damage as you eat the book, and as you crunch his bones out of his hand while you are munching the book with his hand. You don't have teeth though, so you don't really bite his hand off. You just crunch the bones with the suction of your mouth, and you've and as he pulls the hand out, he just goes like, "Ah, yes, my flesh is yours to be sculpted." And that is Monarchos. Is that the end of what you wanted to do?
Spit his hand back out at him, and
you didn't munch. You just
just nibble.
You just
Okay.
mash his bones, and now his hand is all crushed. But he managed to take it out of your
okay.
mouth. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, in that case, yes.
And Ixiulgra, what would you like to do?
Yes, I will reshape you. And I'm casting whatever the Eldritch version of Arboreal Curse is on.
Very well.
I'll leave the description up to you because I don't know what that's gonna look like.
Very well.
He turns to a tree with a lot of eyes.
Ixiulgra, you've as you cast that spell on him, his eyes fly out of his skull, and they start float and orbitate his head. He says, "I can see everything. Yes, my lord.